Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning back. And in this video, we're going to finish off this CRUD operations. Now we have all the CRUD operations need to be finished here. Now let's create a post request. It will create a new user in our a table with the users table with the following parameters, of course, ID, name, and email. So let's get started with that. Okay. So now first and foremost thing, we need app, right? That what we are doing before app dot post. This post going to create a post request, and let's say we have a users slash create. Always stay consistent with what you're naming with the parameters that you're passing. This gonna definitely make sense if you try to use different not using any convention, then obviously it's going to be very hard. So now also we need to get some input, right? We need to get some input from the front end, or maybe here we are testing with the Postman, then obviously we need some data, right? As it is going required name and email. ID is going to be auto generated, so obviously it is not required. So I'm going to say name comma email, and that is going to come from requested body, which going to come from the front end. Okay, so now let's say we're going to create a db.run, and this db.run going to accept first SQL query. So obviously let me just type in that. I don't want to like type all the things, so let me just try to do that. So insert into users with a name, email, and that is the values that I'm going to insert. And now it's going to accept a few parameters, right? As I told you, these are the two parameters that is it requires. So we are getting this name comma email from the user, right? So I will just pass it right here, and I will write a callback. This callback is going to definitely like send me error if there is any issue. So yeah, here you can see I'm just trying to insert into users table with a name and email, and obviously I don't pass any ID, so that is the thing. And here we're going to check if there is any error, then there might be definitely an issue with the DB. So I'm gonna say return res dot status. And as I already mentioned about the status codes, it is always good to put right status code. Like here I've said 400, which is a bad request, and that is going to be, and I'm gonna might write my own custom message saying that hey, DB is not working. Okay, and if everything is going good, I'm gonna say return res dot status code. Of course I'm gonna add the status code. It is always good convention to say 201, which when we are creating some data, then we'll use 201, which is created, and then we're gonna say JSON and MSG saying user created, of course, with their name, showing their name. Let's say passing their name here. So now it's done, right? In the next part, we're going to create like getting a user. But for now, let's say let's check this. Okay, let's check this route. And here I already have a Postman with the following details. Like let's say I'm sending a name and the email, and I will try to create. Here it is not working because, so let me just check. And here I have a name, email. Okay, it should be request.body. That is where we are going to get this data. So let's create. Now user has created, and of course we need to create a if we want to see the data from the DB, then obviously we need some kind of a get request, right, to get the data. So let's say let's just put this as a users, and and now we have a request, and now we have a request comma res, and now of course we need to like db.all. What does the db.all does is that it's going to get all the rows from a particular table, so that is why we use db.all. And we need to write a first SQL query, right? So obviously that is a thing that need to be done. Select star from users. Then we don't require any parameters, so obviously I'll make it empty for now, at least. Error comma rows. So now we'll get error or maybe rows if everything going good. If there is any error, in that case return res dot status code with the 400 to JSON, saying that MSG can't get users. If there is any users, then obviously we're gonna send that return res dot status code with the 200, saying that everything is working fine. Dot JSON, and I'm gonna pass my own parameter saying that data. Obviously I will show this in the demo, so you'll get to know why I have put this data here. And we'll pass the rows, whatever the rows that we get. Okay, so that's that. Now let's rerun the server, and we'll go to the Postman. First we need to create the user. As it is an in-memory database, whenever you restart the server, this data will be lost. So that is the thing that you should remember. Come on. Now let's try to get some users. Okay, we have created a Raj, which is a user, and we are getting the user, right? And here you can see, here we have a data, and of course we can create a different user, maybe something like Sam. And I will try to create a new user. Hey user, Sam is created, and you can get all the users. Hey, here you can see, right? Now it is good now. So our get request is also working, and we are all able to get all the rows from the DB. So now we'll try to create a update request. For that we'll use put as a method, and we can say, like, let's say users, and I want to teach you one thing here. Here we call it as like, you know, parameters. That is how we like, let me show you that we can dynamically send any parameters within the URL only. Like let me just show you what I mean. Okay, here here you can see colon ID. It can be colon ID or maybe email, maybe something like some kind of a user ID. So this can be anything. I will show you what is the use case of it right now. So like, let's say we want to update the user, right? Obviously we're going to get a name comma email. Obviously we're going to get that from the request dot body. That will come from the like front end, or maybe any client side things that you're using, like let's say Postman or anything. And now we're going to get the id, right? Obviously id that is required, right? That is equal to request dot params. Here you can see it is a parameter. Okay, and now we got all the things like a name, email and id. Then obviously we need to create a db.run and say, and we need to insert our SQL query, of course. And here we need to update, right? Update users, set name, email, where id is equal to particular id. Like let's say here we need to pass name, that is going to come from the user, I mean client side, email, and also we need to get the id, right? So now if there is any error, obviously we need to handle that. If there is any error, say return rest dot status with like let's say just use the 400 dot json, saying that hey msg and can't update the user. And now I'm gonna say return rest dot status code with the 200 if everything going fine dot json, and saying that msg colon user updated. Sorry, I forgot to add this flower brackets, as that is how the json works, right? So yeah, that's done. Now let's check, right? Try to update a user and see if it is working fine or not. Like let's go ahead and see put request. First and foremost thing, as I told you before, let's try to create a user, right? First, and we have a user with a sam, and let's try to get the users here, and we have a user with a sam, and let's try to update it. Like here I just put an example, and let's say with a user id 1, and I want to update. Okay, users dash id. I think is everything. Okay, let me just try to rerun the server and try to like create a new user for now. That is the issue with the in-memory databases. So obviously we're going to use some kind of a persistent database in the later part of the videos, maybe in other videos, but for now here we're getting some issue. Like let's see. Okay, this is because of this request body, and we need to pass a request that is going to come incoming data. Okay, here we have missed that. Now the user has updated, but obviously let's create a user, and user has created, and let's try to update him, and let's try to get the user. Here you can see the user is now updated. So yeah, so always remember that this might be because of typo or something, but we are actually getting the user parameter that is being passed here. You can see. Okay, this user id will dynamically add it to the parameters. So that is why we are getting this value. Okay, so that is the thing, and then we'll continue with how to delete a user. Okay, app.delete. Let's say user. Here also we will create like parameter as well, because that would be easy to get their name, request comma response, and we're gonna say, hey, we don't need to get anything. Actually, we just only required a parameter, right? Const id is equal to request dot parameters, right? Params. This param is going to get us this id, which is a dynamic value that is going to come. db dot run, obviously the same thing that we are doing from in the past things as well. So now we need to delete, right? Delete from users with id, and id we are going to pass, right? That we can give it, like let's say id, and we need to write a callback error. It can pass us error or it can succeed. So if there is any error, then say return res dot status code with saying that 400 bad request dot json, saying that hey msg, saying that user not deleted. So if everything going good, then obviously return res dot status code with the 200 dot json, saying that msg user deleted. Done. Now it's done. Let's go ahead and test the application now. Let's first create a user. Okay, now we have a user. Let's try to run it, and we have a user, right, with the id 1, name Sam, and email. And of course, let's try to create one more user. Let's say let's try to create one user. Okay, there is someone like Raj or something. Now we have another user, and we'll try to see all the users are there or not. Yeah, we have all the users, and now we'll try to delete one user, like let's say with the user id 1, and user has deleted. Let's check if the database is able to remove that. Yeah, here you can see that the user has been deleted, and we're only able to see the Raj, and that's how the things work. So I hope you got an idea about how the REST APIs really works, and that's pretty much it.